real quick, who are some of the top names in California Cabernet that you think of when I say California Cabernet? Is Chateau Montelena one of them? If not, well, you're in the right place. You see, I have three legendary vintages of this amazing producer, this classic producer. Now, if you're not familiar with Chateau Montelena or you didn't see the movie Bottle Shock, their 1973 Shard made headways in the 1976 Judgment of Paris. Uh, it was thought that California couldn't make great wine at that time, so they lined up a bunch of critics, tasted both great Cabernets and great Chardonnays, and California came on top, and specifically Montelena Chardonnay. Now we have Cabernet. And that's really what I think they're best known for. And this is the wine that really kind of soothes my soul and is the one that I really love. And one of the great things about Chateau Montelena is that they make really, really ageable wines. And we're going to taste through three of them. Now, let's go back in time to the 1880s when they were founded. And Chateau Montelena has been such an important producer throughout its history to where by the mid 1890s, they were already the seventh largest producer in Napa. So when Prohibition happened in 1920, it really sort of pulled the rug out from under them. And they went through a few sales before they were finally bought in 1968 by one family, but most importantly, Jim Barrett was one of the people. And in 1972, he then bought out almost the rest of it to the point of 90% uh, before he would end up making his own wines, of which we are now in front of. Now, we're going to be starting off with the 1984. Now, 1984 was a bit of an anomaly when it first came out. It was a long, dry vintage that had followed a few so-so vintages. And the way the vintage happened back then would actually be really at home with more of the vintages today, where we see less rain. But this allowed for riper fruit, even fruit. And I've had a fair amount of 84 Cabernets, and they've been really beautiful. And I cannot wait to get into this one. So this is showing its age a bit. Sometimes wines don't always do that. It would be really nice that every old wine we could open up would be this beautiful singing song. It's a little coffee, it's a little muted, but it's still something quite drinkable and pleasant. So we're going to give this a taste. So yeah, unfortunately, this bottle didn't really come to play. That's unfortunate. I got these all off of WineBid, so things can vary from time to time. But again, we're also talking about a wine that's over 40 years old. Every bottle's an adventure at that point. You don't really know what you're going to get. It's drinkable, but it's a little stripped on the palate. And it's not one that I would say really represents or gives you that sort of aura that you want from an old wine. And that's totally fine. Now we're moving on to the 2004. Now, this is a vintage that was liked by Robert Parker, but not so liked by Jancis Robinson or some of the crowds. Like, she was a little more mixed. It was a vintage that had a cool spring, but a really hot summer. And so the wines are a bit uneven. Now, it's been a while since I've had the 04 Montelena. Liked it a lot in the past, and I cannot wait to try it right now. That's beautiful. There's this sort of creaminess, this lush dark red fruit, but everything's really rounded. A bit of cranberry and raspberry, and just a lot of elegance. This like slight vanilla coffee bean note that I'm really digging. A little creme de cassis. This to me is classic Cabernet in a glass. This is what you want when you have a Napa Cabernet. And we're already, what, a little over 20 years. So this is exactly where you want it to be. And all that elegance and refinement that I noted on the nose is absolutely there in space on the palate. This is so silky, so caressing on the feel. But the tannins are still there. They're kind of like just kind of like poking up on the side of your cheeks, letting you know that, hey, you can age this a long time, but it's still really drinkable right now. This is like one of those things where if you want to know what Napa Cabernet is about, with about 20 years on, this is exactly right in that groove, like boom, right in that encyclopedia, everything you want from it. Now we are on to the 2007, which is really a postmodern classic in Napa. This is a vintage that got a lot of plaudits early on, and Napa really works well in sevens. Just funny enough, right? You have 2007, 97, 87. 2017 had to deal with some fires, but what can you do? But this is a wine that really shows off all of what makes Napa Napa. It was a long, dry, even ripening year. Napa is a sunny climate. And so you're going to get a sunny wine. Let's get right into this. That is so pure. It is so pure, refined, elegant. Just this beautiful melanage. It's just working all together in harmony. This beautiful sort of dark red cherry, black raspberry. Again, that creme de cassis that I got on the '04. It's here in spades on the '07, and it's just breathtaking. And where that '04 had a bit of like maybe '04 was a little chunky. Uh, but this is just streamlined. This is like just a chiseled marble statue where every muscle is showing off, and it's just so beautiful on the nose. I wish you guys could smell this with me. Wow, the evenness on the palate is just something to behold. Um, I cannot recommend this enough. Bought all these on Winebid. You can find these. You can find this for around like I think I paid like 100 something for it, so not cheap. But if you want to know what top Cabernet tastes like, this is it. This is a star, and this to me is what Chateau Montelena is all about. And if you want to know Napa, this is exactly the producer you need to look forward to. Hey everyone, I'm now in Napa. I had to kick things off on Napa, and I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe. And be sure to throw some comments down. Are you guys big fans of Chateau Montelena? Be sure to let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.